for every black person across the Caribbean, the Americas, and the world who still thinks Jesus saved them. Our ancestors died for us to be here, not Jesus, not the Bible God. This message is for every black person with a slave last name, a colonizer's God, and no knowledge of their real lineage. Step 1. If you're black in the Americas or Caribbean, you are a descendant of slaves, period. No matter how woke or religious you think you are, your people were brought here through trauma. You didn't get here through miracles. You got here through chains, lashes, rape, and rebellion. Step 2. The slave ship that brought your bloodline was named Jesus. Yes, that's not conspiracy. It's documented history. One of the first slave ships was literally named the good ship Jesus. You praising a name that was painted on the side of the ship that kidnapped your ancestors. Step 3. You don't know your roots because they were erased. When was the last time you said, "Let me do a DNA test, an ancestry test. Let me find my real tribe"? Nope. Instead, you went to church. You opened a slave manual called the Bible, and you read it every night, like your ancestors weren't forced to do that under threat of death. Step 4. Your grandmother was the real protector, not Jesus, not Paul, not Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Your great-great-grandmother survived torture, rape, forced labor, and the psychological destruction of slavery so you could sit here with Wi-Fi and debate her existence. Step 5. You still carry your slave owner's last name, and you don't even question it. You say, "I'm not a slave," but your last name says otherwise. That's your ownership tag, and you proudly sign it on legal forms like it means culture. Step 6. You go to church, but never to the archives. You know every verse about Jesus, but can't name one African tribe, can't name your original language, can't name your first land before the slave coast, because the Bible taught you to know Jerusalem, Nazareth, and Rome, but not Dahomey, not Mali, not Congo, not Nubia. Step 7. Christianity is generational mental colonization. Sunday school didn't teach you about your ancestors. It taught you to forget them. Why? Because they knew, if we erase who they were, we control who they become. You are the grandchild of warriors, but they made you think you're the follower of a white god who couldn't save himself. Step 8. Ancestral trauma lives in your blood. Science calls it epigenetics. You carry the pain, resistance, and strength of every person who survived the ships, the chains, the auctions. That's your real Holy Spirit, your ancestral memory. Step 9. Some of y'all say, "My ancestors are dead." They're not. They walk with you every day, but you can't hear them because the Bible told you to listen for a God that never spoke, the same God that told you you were born in sin, but somehow never said a word about colonizers being sinful. Step 10. You praise a book. Your ancestors were whipped into reading. They didn't choose Christianity. It was beaten into them. They were tortured for praying to their African gods, so they had to fake praise to survive, and now you do it willingly, as if Jesus ever stepped foot in Africa to save you. Final message. Jesus didn't save you. Your ancestors did. They survived so you could exist. Stop saying, "God brought me here." Your great-grandmother did, with chains around her wrists and a song in her throat. Give them credit, not the system that tried to destroy them.